Let it go and let it be. Be, be, be. I hope it's only Sunday. There's only one thing you know you gotta do. That's breathe, 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 breathe. I say, no doubt. You're gonna realize that's what life is all about. You just gotta breathe, 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 breathe. Let it go and let it be. Breathe, breathe, breathe. I hope that you're listening. There's only one thing you know you gotta do. That's breathe, breathe, breathe. Yeah, you gotta do. It's breathe, 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 breathe. It's been the longest day. You wish you could hit erase, but you are lucky that way. Nobody's lucky that way. But I want you to stop where you are. I want you to hear your heart. Cause that's how you stay on par. No need to raise the bar when you're feeling low. Oh, you gotta breathe, breathe, breathe. Let it go and let it be, 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 be. I hope that you're listening. There's only one thing you know you gotta do. That's breathe, breathe. It's been the longest day. You wish you could hit erase, but you are lucky that way. Nobody's lucky that way. But I want you to stop where you are. I want you to hear your heart. Cause that's how you stay on par. No need to raise the bar when you're feeling low. Oh, you gotta breathe, 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 breathe. Let it go and let it be, 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 be. I hope that you're listening. There's only one thing you know you gotta do. That's breathe, breathe. Seems like one big test with barely much time to rest. It goes right when you go left. It's more than you can digest, but nobody's gonna die if you say you need some time to step back and clear your mind. Yeah, everyone will be fine. All you need to know is all you gotta breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe, let it go and let it be. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Something only you know you can do. Just breathe, 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 breathe out, have faith, no doubt. You're gonna realize that's what life is all about. You just gotta breathe, 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 breathe. Let it go and let it be. Breathe, breathe, breathe. I hope that you're listening. There's only one thing you know you gotta do. That's breathe, Free, yeah, it's free, 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 free.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's call. Can you please put in the chat where you're joining us from today? Hope you've had a beautiful day and you took time to dance along, to do the breathe out, breathe in exercise. Put in the chat box where you're joining us from and what your expectations for today's call is. And we'll just go right in. I'm looking in the chat to see where people are joining the call from. Today we will be talking about a very interesting, yes, joining from Abuja, Nigeria. Welcome, Mafu. Thank you, thank you. We'll be talking on a topic that affects us all in different ways. Every way we have all experienced the topic that we're here to talk about today. We want to encourage, yes, stepping in from Rwanda, Angola, yes, yes, ma, welcome, ma. So we want it to be very interactive. From Tanzania, Peter is joining us from Tanzania. Welcome, welcome. Yes, thank you. To be very interactive, feel free to share. Helena is joining from Angola. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, everyone. Joining from Luanda, yes, from Luanda. So let's make it interactive so we can learn from each other and we can share. We want to make this as much as possible a free and safe space so that we can share, we can onboarding, and we can learn. Okay, so we'll dive right in. Sorry. Okay. My slides are going here live. Okay, so very quickly, what we're about the family, we're about your marriage and your mental health. At Breathe, we believe that marriage is to be enjoyed and not to be endured. And there's everything around us to make marriage enjoyable based on the principles of God's work. The endured part of marriage for us is the mental health. Anything that impacts your mental health and your emotional wellness is our concern in Breathe, and we're here to support you. Live a wholesome life and enjoy your family, enjoy your relationships. Today we'll be talking about dealing with betrayal. There are lots of, like I said, it is meant to be very interactive. So our contributions, our participation is very, very much needed. And we're going to do the first exercise through a platform we call Menti. Everyone is the admin is going to put the Menti link in the chat now, or project. Should I stop projecting, admin? Do you want to project? Should I stop sharing? So you project the Menti question. Yes, Matthew from Nigeria. Thank you. Admin, should I stop? Are you putting the mentee question? Or should we continue in the chat? Please help us put your mics on mute for now. Okay, so what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word betrayal? Let's put it in the chat box. What's the first word? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when you hear the word betrayal? Let's hear some things, admin, and if you are ready, you can put in the chat. Everyone, please put your thoughts. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word betrayal? Sorry, let me put my phone on silent. It keeps popping up. Deep pain. Yes, distraction, deep pain. Deep, 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 deep pain. Love gone sour. Yes. Broken trust. Yes, another broken trust. Yes, we'll not be able to go to the mentee now. But we wanted to do an exercise. I think we'll just proceed. We'll do the next exercise on the mentee. They just put the mentee link on the chat now. So broken trust, deep pain, love that has gone sour. Yeah, thank you, everyone. That is betrayal. Yes, perfect description of betrayal. It's the same thing we have on the slide, right? Betrayal is any act that touches, that damages, that destroys the foundation, the fundamentals of a relationship, of our marriage, of our union. That thing that touches the fabric, the very foundation of your marriage, that thing that seeks to shatter it is betrayal. Betrayal seeks, it's broken trust, like we have put in the chat. It is deception, hiding the truth from your partner, hiding the truth from the other person in the relationship. You know, betrayal first starts emotional and then it graduates to physical. So aspects of, like the last time we talked about emotional infidelity, it's a form of betrayal. You know, the thing about betrayal is that it starts very small, right? It starts very, very subtle, but it continues to grow. The betrayer never ever thinks that he's going to be found out. But the more that you keep going, it's like stepping more and more into the deep water. Stepping more and more into the deep water, and after a while, the evil just consumes the heart. So it is emotional and physical infidelity, where you are taking the intimacy that is meant for your relationship, your partner, and you're sharing with outside somebody else, outside of the relationship, outside of your marriage. Betrayal is broken boundaries and abandonment of your vows, of your commitment in your relationship. When the foundation, the fundamentals of a relationship are shattered, are touched. You know, there are things in a relationship, they are peripherals, they can be moved, they can be affected. Yes, they can easily be repaired. But when that pain, like someone put deep pain, that goes to touch the foundation, the fundamentals of a relationship, there's betrayal. So in relationships, we need to always remember, I know many of us who have heard this, or well, I know maybe if not all of us, we have heard over and over that people are in our lives for three reasons, three main purposes. They are there for a reason, they are there for a season, or they are there for a lifetime. Today, the discussion we'll be having is focused, is narrowed to the marital relationship. And for marriage, we know that the marriage is there for a purpose, and marriage is intended by God to be for a lifetime. So the relationships that we're talking about today, even though betrayal cuts across every aspect of life, right? We are particularly zooming in into marriage, but the discussions that we have here will apply to even the betrayal that happens within and outside marriage. So if you are not able to, generally, even in relationships, right? If you're not able to place your relationship, if you're not able to properly define your relationship, then you are opening it up for betrayal already. What is the purpose of that relationship? Because remember what we said, what we put in the chat: broken trust, love gone sour, deep pain. All these things, they come because we are not clear. Somebody said, what you don't define, you cannot, it is subject to abuse. You cannot refine it. You cannot hold it down. You cannot maximize the purpose of whatever you don't define. So many of us just go into relationships. We don't define our relationships. And then we open up ourselves for the pain that comes when the relationship goes, the love goes sour. The deep pains come from those relationships. Can we do the next mentee question now? There is something in the chat box, right? Let's do another exercise. It's called mentee. If you click it, it will just take you there on your phone. It will just take you there. If you just click on the chat box, you see the mentee and then the code, right? Just click it and put the code, and you'll see questions pop up. Admin, should I stop sharing so you can share the mentee? So let's do that exercise quickly and see. Just one. Yeah. If you're able to get to the mentee page, just say, I am there. Just put in the chat box so I know that I don't have to be waiting, or we can just continue. Okay. Can you see the mentee on your phones? If you can see, please say, yes, I can see, so that I can stop. Okay, the admin needs to respond to me to say, I need to stop share so you can share the mentee so everybody can see. Yes, Francisca can see. Thank you. So should I stop sharing so you can? Yes, I can. Okay, so answer the questions. Let me stop sharing so that the admin can project. So you see, let's see what, yes. Admin, stop sharing. Can you share the mentee so we quickly see what we're doing on the mentee? So I cannot see the mentee. You can see, you all can see it, but I can't see it. I wanted to project it so all of us can see. So that as we move to the next slide. My time. Okay, I'm unable to see what you're seeing. The admin is unable to bring up the slide, but okay, so I cannot see what you're seeing. Okay, so I see. What aspect of betrayal is hardest to overcome? Yes, the broken promises. The biggest one, yes, every people have put is forgiveness. Forgiveness is the biggest one that people have put here. Trust, reconciliation is hard. Forgetting, yes, they say forgive. We are forgiven, but we still don't, we still remember, ne? Okay, the pain, yes, the forgiving again, yes. Thank you, everyone who has put. So I'll go back to my slide. Okay, so betrayal is very common now. And if you look at the statistics on the slide, which I won't take much time on, 40% of marriages experience some form of betrayal. So more than a third of marriages experience betrayal, right? And relationships that, like over a two, like I said earlier, the person who starts the betrayal never thinks of getting found. So sometimes the betrayal can go on for as long as 2 years. And, you know, and the impact, it impacts proportion more than up to like 2/3 of marriages who face betrayal do not survive it. So this is data from the US. Like I always say, we don't have the data for Africa. It may be more, you see. And betrayal is rising a lot these days because it is enabled by social media. Social media gives us quick access to temptation, quick access, quick ways to hide, to go into secrecy. So social media, technology, you just click your phone now, you see one dating site or the other. Even when you didn't plan it, you see somebody, a naked woman, they're offering you, so social media, all these are enabling betrayal. In our, I wanted to ask this question before I project. Why does betrayal happen? Anyway, I already projected it. First, unmet needs of our partner, right? When one partner is seeking, as we put in our earlier examples on what is betrayal, one person is feeling starved of the attention. There's emotional disconnection. One person is feeling sexually starved. One person is feeling physically unattended to. The unmet needs that are in the heart that start creating the wall, start creating the distance between the partners, they predispose people to betrayal. Other things, personal weaknesses, poor boundaries, keeping links with X, which is a great thing that we hear today. There is a lot of issues that are happening in marriage because one of the partners, either suddenly, mistakenly, or intentionally be connected with an ex. So people don't define boundaries. You are with the opposite sex, like we talked about in our last meeting, and everything about you is very free. There are no boundaries. How far can this relationship go? What can I do? There's no accountability. I was listening to someone today, and the person said when they got married, they agreed and had a fidelity plan as a family, What are your boundaries? There are things that you cannot do. Other reasons: relationship problems, poor communication, resentment, unresolved anger, and then uncontrolled sexual desires. Unhealthy sexual desires can also predispose us to betrayal. Then external pressures from work. People are looking for how to release the stress. Pressures from, finances. The people have financial problems. They want to find a quick escape. And then temptations, like we said, temptations that are virtual, temptations that are physical. And lastly, we'll just mention, as I said at the beginning, right, this is not an exhaustive 1 hour. Is not enough to talk everything. So we will just talk what we can talk now. And then others, please put other reasons that why does betrayal happen? Put it in the chat box. And when we are talking about what is making betrayal to happen, is not because we are trying to enable or justify betrayal, but by understanding why betrayal happens, then we can be better positioned to fight against it. The last reason I'll just mention on why betrayal happens is because it is an attack on your marriage. There is something good inside your marriage that the enemy is aware of, and it comes for your marriage to destroy it. And when we're talking at the beginning, people put that betrayal is deep pain. It will hit you in that place that will make you say, this marriage is not worth it, let me walk away. Because you cannot see the purpose, the beauty that is in your marriage. That attack, like Miles Monroe will say, is a proof that there's something beautiful in your marriage. Those are all the reasons that betrayal comes. Please, can we put other reasons why betrayal occurs in the charts as we move? And I'll be reading as people put, why does betrayal happen that we haven't covered here? Please feel free to put it in the chat as well. Okay. We just want to see, we're talking betrayal. It's not, everybody's situation is not the same. On the slide that is projected, we have 6 situations. As we are talking about it, yes, family and peer pressure. Thank you, Emerald. Yes, there are also reasons why betrayals happen. 6 aspects of betrayal, and this again is not exhaustive, but we just want to focus on this 6 or 7. I think we put 7 eventually. Which situation are you in? Some people are going through betrayal, not yet because they have gone through betrayal, but because they are afraid that they may go through betrayal. So that controls their behavior. Fear. Oh, some people feel like, oh, my partner is so attractive. Societal pressure, exactly. My partner is so attractive, so my partner is going to betray me. And you live in that fear. You are afraid. Or somebody who has experienced betrayal from their family, like maybe there was betrayal in your parental, in your parents, among your parents, then you are now expecting it in your marriage, right? Another, yes, financial pressure again, yes. Another situation, you suspect that you have been betrayed. You suspect your partner. You are suspecting that this your partner. Oh, the partner has betrayed me. Suspicion is not discernment. Sometimes we think that, oh, I am spiritual, so I discern. You have to find out this thing that you are thinking that you have been betrayed or you are being betrayed. Is it that it's suspicion or is discernment? Suspicion can masquerade as discernment, And like Chris Vallotton will say, I like what he says. He says the gift of discernment can be used by the spirit of fear. So are you just suspicious that you have been betrayed and it's keeping you in fear? Another situation is your spouse told you. Your spouse was found himself or herself in a compromised situation, and that spouse came to you to tell you. Many times we don't handle the confession correctly. I've seen instances where the spouse came to tell the other spouse that this thing happened. Whatever is the reason, I'm the one that brought this, the spouse brought himself. It's not, doesn't make the betrayal correct, but your spouse came to tell you, it counts for something. It counts for something. Another situation is you found out that you have been betrayed. You discovered betrayal by your own investigation, or suddenly you just walk into the betrayal scene and you find that, oh my God, this has happened to me. That's what that person put earlier, the deep pain, like you just get hit by the pain. As we are going through it and talking about betrayal, either the one you have experienced or the one that whoever you're trying to help has experienced. Another one is a friend told you, someone told you, like someone shared a skit with me, I think some days ago, and he said, I'm calling you, I just saw your wife with a man going into a hotel. Someone told you, third party. Some people just jump on the information and they just believe hook, line, and sinker. It may be true, it may not be true. So there is a situation where it is a third party that has informed you that there is a betrayal. Then another option, which is the one that is close to the suspicion, is that you know by divine revelation. That is revealed to you. What do you do with the revelation? Are you so afraid? Or are you doing what is revealed? You know, we talked about discernment earlier. God can reveal betrayal to us. What do we do when we receive that? So that's another situation. And the last one is you both know, but it has been difficult for your spouse to stop, for your partner to stop. So as we are going through this today, the question is, which situation is your betrayal? Which situation? Because just generalizing and saying the word betrayal, the response is not the same. You have to know which situation did this betrayal occur. Right? So are you the one that is living in fear, in suspicion? Your spouse told you, you found out by yourself, a third party told you, you received by divine revelation, you know by divine revelation, or you have both found out, but it has been challenging for the person who has committed the betrayal to stop. Can there be emotional betrayal, and how? Yes, okay. Our questions, we'll take our Q&A. Please, admin, be compiling it. Emotional betrayal. Yes, emotional betrayal. And if you can also put the responses in the comment already, be putting it. We'll do Q&A at the end. We already have one question there, right? Emotional betrayal. Can there be? Okay. What are the danger signs? Can we know that there is betrayal? Again, as I'm putting these signs up, please put other reasons that are not on this, other danger signs, other red flags that are not here, put it in the chat. 1, emotional and physical distance. Just unjustified, unexplainable emotional and physical distance between the couple. Could it be that there is betrayal? Then inconsistencies in behaviors and words. The person said, oh, I'm going on a business trip. And then you discovered, no, when I was going to shop, right, it's like you so much. Inconsistencies in the behavior and in what the person says. Questionable behavior that raises doubt or suspicion. The person is on your partner is on the call, you start coming, which wasn't the situation before, and suddenly it just has to turn off everywhere. Yes, rapid anger. and short tempers. Exactly. Yes, we put that here as unconfounded, like unfounded and persistent comparison and dissatisfaction with everything the partner does or represents. You just were like, but I used to dress well before. It's not that I don't dress well now, but you're like, why is it, like unjustified comparison and dissatisfaction? And then secrecy and deception. Secrecy, everything I have to, like you find out like betrayal, like someone put in the chat box, can there be emotional betrayal? On that first slide, I didn't get to mention it. There's also financial betrayal. When there is secrecy, deception, financially, and now even with technology, it's very, very easy to do. And then unintentional slips that reveal the hidden truth in somebody's heart. Somebody just, okay, maybe the wife's name is tell me one beautiful, precious name. And then you are discussing, one of the days he calls you Sarah. The next day he calls you the wife. The next day calls you James. So unintentional slips that reveal that something is going on, or a statement that hurts deeply, and you wonder, like, where did this come from? Right? Remember that betrayal is not only sexual. Someone has asked in the chat, is it emotional? Yes. As we talked a lot last week, right? Yes, paying attention. Sorry, I will see what the person put. And then patterns, unhealthy patterns that keep reoccurring. Pattern tell a story. So is there a pattern of lying? Is there a pattern of secrecy? That's a story that is telling you, but many times we ignore the patterns. And then we find ourselves, we open up ourselves for the deep pain. And finally, on this slide, revelation of spiritual manipulation. Someone said one time, and it's so true, that she learned to pray over her marriage by first, every situation that goes wrong, she first finds out what is the root cause. Is it just a physical thing that has gone wrong and I can handle it? But sometimes there is spiritual manipulation also causing that person to go into betrayal. What makes betrayal so painful? I think we put it earlier. Some people said the pain, the difficulty to forgive or forget is so hard. Can't forget this thing. It's so hard to forget. Should we do one mentee or wait a bit more? Okay. What makes it so hard? What makes betrayal so hard? The fear, and that you have lost something. The fear that, can I ever trust again? The loss of security. Oh, I was so secure in this marriage. I loved my partner loved me. Now I'm not sure. Then that feeling of rejection. Betrayal makes people to blame themselves, to feel ashamed, to have a sense of guilt. Was I not good enough? Was it my fault? Who else knew? Have people been looking at me as the foolish one, as the gullible one who didn't know? Betrayal is painful because it comes from the people who are close. If you just met somebody in the bus and the person did something to you, or at the airport, it will not pain you so much. But betrayal hurts because it takes advantage of the intimate access to you, to your heart, to the things that matter to you. That's why betrayal is so painful. You opened up your life, your most vulnerable self to this person. And that person took advantage of that vulnerability, that deep trust that you had. For it to be effective, it has to be close. Why is betrayal painful? Because it leaves, like somebody said, a deep wound. And the wound is not just, it's not just deep, it is lasting. It stays for a long time. If you have never experienced betrayal of any kind, you know, I used to say that before I got married, I never had difficulty forgiving. You know, growing up, not just before I got married, like growing up, my childhood, I never had any difficulty forgiving because I never felt. But the first experience, and this is not with my husband, but the first experience of betrayal that I had, it was so painful. It was so painful. The pain, you know, for the first time in my life, I knew it was a relationship I had before I eventually met my husband and we got married. In the relationship, like I couldn't, for the first time, the kind of prayers that I prayed was different. Like I never knew that I could pray such prayer. Like, it's so deep and it stays for a long time, you know. Lord, help me to forgive. Help my heart. Take this pain away. Like, it's so long. Betrayal attacks the whole essence of you, your core beliefs. You're a Christian, you'll be like, am I sure this thing that I've believed all these years is true? It makes you question yourself. It makes you question all the things you have known all these years. What makes betrayal painful? It makes you uncertain of tomorrow. Should I continue? Should I stay in this relationship or should I just leave? I think one of the most painful things about betrayal is that usually we see the signs, but we ignored it. So when eventually the big betrayal happens, you feel very stupid. You feel used. You feel, oh God, but I knew this thing, but I didn't have I trusted too much. I couldn't bring myself to agree that this was what was happening. This makes betrayal so painful. You were too afraid to face the truth. The emotional stages of betrayal, we have all mentioned it. What happens in betrayal? One, the first thing, you are shocked. You can't believe, you are numb. You stay in denial. What? This state of shock and denial, while someone may say, why don't you need to quickly come out of it, it's also a protective mechanism that your brain goes into, because your brain also gets activated when you are in this, certain parts of your brain gets activated when you face betrayal, right? So your brain goes into a mode that seeks to protect you. So it keeps you in this state of denial, shock, belief. Then after that phase, you go into the pain starts. After the numbness, the pain comes. And then you are angry, you get into anger. How could I have been used? You just want to just do something to this person. And then the next phase is the grief. You know, betrayal is losing something. And sometimes people grieve the same way that you grieve when you lose a person that is dear to your heart. You know, I remember, you know, one time saying to one of my friends, and my friend's like, oh, you really loved this person when I had an experience. And he's like, yes. And it's, you know, the human, it is akin. Please help us mute your mic. Thank you. Olutayo, please help us, help us. Help us to mute your mic. Thank you so much. So it is lost, right? It's a loss. We grieve. Please, Admiga, help. Thank you so much. And then after that, the grieving, we go into decision. What should I do? Betrayal. Should I move forward? What should I do? Betrayal does not have to make you become a bitter person. You can become a better person, but it's it's your choice. It's that point of decision. So after betrayal, you still have a choice to either become bitter or to become a better person, to use the betrayal as a vehicle to take you into higher levels in your destiny, in your relationship, or to become bitter, to allow the evil that consumed the other person to consume you as well. So it's a choice. We have a choice after betrayal. The mental health impact of betrayal: anxiety and stress, depression, emotional wounds and trauma. Betrayal can also lead us into addiction, and betrayal has led some people to their death, taking their lives because they feel, what's the essence? Because remember, we said it attacks your core. It attacks, it reaches, existential question, raises existential questions for you that can make it look like, what's the essence of life? Yes, like someone said, it is deep. Betrayal is one of the deepest wounds that you can experience in this life. But healing is still possible. Any form of betrayal leaves deep wounds, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, whether it's sexual, whether it leaves deep wounds, but it is possible to be healed. Can we put the next mentee up? Can we put the next? I think the next one is yes. The next mentee question. Tell yourself, while we're going into that mentee, I give myself the permission to heal. I give myself, because even if God is going to heal you, yes, what helped you heal? Oh, so touching. My baby. Just looking at her baby. Talking to other people, yes, not bottling up. Because the betrayal, remember we said, it's akin to grieving, right? It wants to push you into isolation. Yes, my value system. Yes, God and prayer. Yes, my mom. Thank God for mothers. God, focusing on myself. Yes, we will talk about that as we go along. What helped us heal after betrayal? Yes, focusing on myself. God, prayer. My mom, your values. What are your values? What's your purpose? What's important to you? Give yourself the permission to heal. So, as we go into looking at how do I begin to think about healing, one of the first questions we want to ask ourselves, a question, right? As we go in to talk about the strategy. Did I in any way enable this betrayal? I'm the one that was betrayed. Did I help in any way to contribute to this betrayal? Let us look at some of the ways, that the questions I need to ask myself if I was a contributor to this betrayal, especially like we're focusing on betrayal in marriage. Did I neglect my partner's needs? The partner is saying, I'm sexually starved. I'm emotionally, like the question that we have in the chat. I'm emotionally feeling distant. I'm feeling emotionally disconnected. There's something that we're not feeling emotionally connected anymore as we used to. Did I neglect that? Did I ignore the signs? Remember the danger signs that we mentioned? Because sometimes the signs are there, but you feel you're like, no, this person can't do this to me now. But you are seeing the signs. Did I ignore the signs? Because you first have to start with you. While we are looking, betrayal is painful. Betrayal is not good. The person who has betrayed, he has sown a seed, right? And that seed will come back to him. But you, they betrayed. These are also questions I need to ask myself. What did I do to contribute to this? Was I an enabler to this betrayal in any way? Keeping old flames alive. You are now married. but your heart is still in an old relationship, and your partner can see that you are not in this relationship, you have not come here. After a while, the partner can also get, okay, the person is not here. You are comparing that relationship, that person, to a relationship that you didn't have, or the person you did not marry. Another reason is carelessness. Carelessness over our marriages. Carelessness in our relationship. Carelessness in the way that we talk. Carelessness in our thinking. Carelessness in our marriage, in our dressing, in everything around us. Carelessness is another reason. Being careless over your marriage. Careless over your heart. Carelessness. Carelessness over our finances. Carelessness is a big reason that enables betrayal. Another one is familiarity. Now, we're used to each other. As one of, in my women's meeting last week, someone was talking about, now that you're married, it's like, see finish have come, right? See finish, as you'll see. What is the purpose now? I don't have to dress anywhere. And that man, that woman, she goes to the office. He goes to the office. He sees this colleague. As my pastor's wife, my pastor will always say, it's a GQ spec. And if it comes to the house, or when you are going to the office, you are tech. When you come back home, yeah. So now you lose spark. We don't have any, there's no, that thing that, keeps the marriage. There's no ginger anymore. That thing that keeps the marriage alive, we lose it. But that thing is the reason why you came together. And then also unguarded gates over our marriage and in our home. Your sibling is living with you. You allow your sibling to dress anyhow. But your partner is there, is watching, and this sibling has the best curves. Or, oh, I'm helping someone, the person is now living in my house. This person has the most massive curves and wears the most skimpy things, and I don't do nothing. No. Or you have a housemaid, and your housemaid is behaving or doing things anyhow. Your housemaid is, when your housemaid sees your husband coming, your housemaid will now pack one side of her dress. You saw it over your home. How are you guarding the gates of your home? How are you guarding the gates of your marriage? Are you being careless? Are you guarding? Are you seeing something and taking action? Did you leave the door open for those things that come? Sometimes it's some relatives or some friends that we have allowed to come. We have, you have not, even information is a gate in your marriage. There are certain information that are supposed to be between you and your spouse, but you took the information and you shared it everywhere with those who are not supposed to be privy to it, and they took this information and stabbed you back. So that's the first aspect of healing. I check myself. What did I do? Right? If there are any reasons or any enablers that I can do to have caused this, please put in the chat box so that we can know all the enablers. We can ask ourselves the question, is it me? What did I contribute in this process as I am journeying towards this healing today? Other practical steps, and we'll just run quickly because of our time. Accept the reality, the pain, acknowledge the pain. Allow yourself to process the emotion. Allow yourself to grieve. Remember, we said it's akin to loss. It's akin to loss. The pain that you feel when you lose a person. It's akin to that pain that is felt. The deep wound. Allow yourself to process the emotion, to grieve. It is legit. It's valid. Don't shut yourself down. Be patient with the healing. Be patient with the rebuilding process. Another thing to do as we work practically towards healing is to honestly and objectively assess the betrayal. My husband used to call it honest assessment. He used to call it, use a scientific method to assess the betrayal that happened. Sit down, look at the betrayal. Why did this thing happen? What caused it? Like we asked in the last line, what did I contribute to it? What did I do wrong? What didn't I observe? What went wrong? How did this thing happen? Assess it. Don't just ignore and think, okay, things will fix themselves. X-ray. And then also evaluate your relationships. Are there expectations I need to adjust? Oh, I thought this person was such a high, like a gym, but it's not. So assessment will help you to know that and to adjust your expectations so that you can protect yourself, right? And then you will know what to do. You will know the steps to take. And then seek support. Seek support to process your emotions and to help your healing. Sometimes we can't do it alone. Some people put, when I looked at my baby, when I talked to others, when I went to talk to my pastor prayed with me, continued to follow up with me. When I went to the therapist, when I sought counseling, so the admin will put part of the support that we give. We also give, like, we have a community that helps, it's available for you to join, and we can support each other. We also provide support for one-on-ones, and we will put all the links in the chat. Anyone that answers your need, we're also here to give you support. But there's support all around you. There's support in your family. There's support for you. Find good friends. They are a support structure. And they are helpful for helping us to process the emotions, and to help us. And then pray for discernment. In my opinion, true discernment is one of and wisdom they are key in relationships. If you don't understand the relationship that you're in, you have left yourself open for continuous betrayal and pain. So pray for wisdom, for discernment. Then begin to steward your relationship with wisdom and vigilance. The Bible says, if you're a Christian here, the Bible says, watch and pray. If something is shifting in your relationship, don't just ignore it. It's something to carry and go and pray about. Oh, this thing didn't used to be. My partner did not used to speak to me like this. But today, these days, I see that he's speaking. Your partner suddenly becomes moody. Something is making your partner on. Watch your marriage. Be vigilant over your family, over your home, over your marriage, your relationship. The things that are going off, carry them into prayer. And then reframe the situation that has happened and be grateful. You'd be like, somebody's like, grateful. Did you even hear what you're saying? Grateful. Why will I be grateful for what happened? One, betrayal is platform for question. Okay, you can either, let me pause here. You can either send the question through the mentee. The mentee, nobody can see who sent it. So it's also a way on the mentee, you will see the section for question. Otherwise, you can put in the chat. When you go into the chat, you see to everybody. Don't send to everybody. Look for breathe on the admin and send your question there. Then the admin will call the question. And sometimes, like some people the last time they put some questions, but then after a while, before we got to their question in the after section, they had dropped off. But some people left their contact details so we could follow up with them. So if you also leave your contacts, we can also follow up with you. But go to the chats, and then you'll see breathe. You can send your question directly only to breathe. So I was saying, why do you need to be grateful after a betrayal? Because it is a revelation. It showed you something that you would not have known if the betrayal did not happen, but it was there. The tendency is there. So, Father, Lord, thank you that I can even see that this person has this tendency. Now I can see it. and then talk. Don't just move on. Like we said, talk about it, and establish accountability and boundaries, because it's those first things you ignored the first time. Now we landed in the betrayal. Now we are here. We will not just move on. We will talk about it and address it. But it doesn't mean that talking is easy or talking will just happen automatically. Give yourself time. When the time to talk is right, talk. Don't just move on. Then forgive. You see, we put forgive last, right? Forgive. Forgive for your sake, for yourself and for the other person. Forgiveness is not just for the other person. Forgiveness is for you to release the weight. Then, like someone put for us in what helped us to heal, seek God's help, pray, prayer. Then pay attention to your health. Take care of yourself. You get medical attention when it's needed. Self-care. Care for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Show yourself compassion. Take care of yourself. Because the betrayal, remember we say it comes to attack purpose. Your purpose, the purpose of your marriage, it comes to attack the core of your life. So take care of yourself. And don't allow harmful responses. Don't repress your emotions. Don't go into isolation. No. Don't seek revenge. Remember we say you have a choice. You can either use it to become a better person, a stronger person, or use it to become bitter. It's a choice, right? Oh, whether betrayal, whether forgiveness or reconciliation, every single one of them is selfish. It's for you. Even though it looks like when I extend forgiveness to the other person. No, it's for me. I forgive because of me also. The betrayal, oh, okay, the person was selfish, but the person also sowed a seed, right? The person was selfish. The person it's not always that the person didn't love the other partner. It just means that in that instant where the person chose the thing that led to the betrayal, he prioritized something else. He prioritized his need in that moment. He prioritized that thing to be of higher value than the relationship. Reconciliation is also selfish, right? So all these things, they are selfish. What choice will you make today? To forgive? To reconcile? The choice is yours to make today. So quickly, just to run down as our time is up, rebuilding trust, you need to be transparent. Like somebody said, is there emotional betrayal? Yes. So for you to reconnect, to build back trust, which was broken, shattered, destroyed in betrayal, transparency and creation of emotional safety is important. You need to be open. The person needs to be able to trust that in this relationship, I am safe, both emotionally and physically. Rebuilding trust. Forgiveness needs to be offered and it needs to be received, right? And then you need to set boundaries. You need to set clear expectations and limits. You need to accept responsibility for the betrayal that was caused by the betrayed. The person who caused the betrayal needs to accept responsibility, and the person who was betrayed, based on those things we explained earlier, also needs to accept responsibility. And then the painful one, reconciliation and consistency, you know. Trust is not just only by those big actions that we do, but trust is those small, consistent actions that you continue to do every day to regain back the trust of the other person. So establishing patterns of reliability. Forgiveness is free, but trust will need to be earned after betrayal. How do we know that reconciliation is being effective? Forgiveness is offered and received, honest conversation, trust is gradually rebuilding, both are committed to growth, genuine remorse is practiced. Some difficult situations after betrayal. Sometimes, we have talked about all the enablers and what to do. Sometimes it is very difficult. We do not, we acknowledge that sometimes Betrayal is very difficult. What do you do when the betrayal continues without a change? When there's no change? When one partner continues to be unwilling to change? When the safety of the betrayed is at risk, what do you do? When trust appears to be difficult or impossible to rebuild after so many efforts, what do you do? What do you do? Please put in the chat, what do you do? Let us see as we go. Sorry, we're extending our time slightly today because this is such an important topic. What do you do when you face such difficult situation? What should people do? I'll just give 30 seconds so I don't see 10 seconds. I don't see anything in the chat. We'll just continue so that we can round up. When we face difficult situations after betrayal, what do we do? Okay, people continue to put in the chat box. 1, pray for discernment, pray for wisdom. Pray for wisdom. Pray for wisdom. This wisdom must overshadow your emotions when these things that we just mentioned or an other difficult situation. Please feel free to put other difficult situations that we have not highlighted here, but these are the difficult situations that we have seen, we have encountered in the course of supporting people. Seek for wisdom. Your emotions must not lead you when it comes to this really difficult, because your heart, why do you need wisdom and discernment? Because you need to protect your own heart. My mom used to say that heart is made of flesh, so it can feel pain, and that pain can sometimes kill. This is why your emotions, when these things continue, your safety is at risk, and these things are continuing, then you need to allow the wisdom that comes from God to rise above your emotions. Then when it seems repeated or unstoppable, during our women's meeting last week, we were talking and my pastor's wife said something key. She said, protect yourself. Protect yourself. Your partner is going out. Difficult situations that people talk about when you meet people. The partner continues to go out and you sit there, you don't protect yourself. You are sitting in the marriage while you are working on it. Protect yourself. Use condoms. Don't just expose yourself, because there is sexually transmitted diseases, and some of the sexually transmitted diseases, they kill the innocent partner. You'd be like, oh, this person was so good, because the person did not allow wisdom to rise above the emotions. So while you are there working on the issues, please protect yourself. Protect yourself. And then seek support. Sometimes when you are in this difficult situation, it's so hard for you to help yourself. Your judgment will be clouded. Seek the support of your pastor. Seek the support of trusted friends. Seek the support of counselors and therapists. Seek support. Don't sit there. A caveat as we leave this slide. This is not an endorsement for divorce. No, this is an endorsement, because remember the very difficult situations that we've mentioned, they expose people to things that, end the destinies, the lives of people we see in the world these days, because people are not allowing discernment. This is a call for discernment, a call for wisdom, a call for preserving your own safety, for preserving that your heart that is flesh. I love this Miles Morrow's quote where he says, discernment is, what does discernment mean? It means loving God enough to trust him. When he shows you something that is a betrayal, trusting him to take action. Trusting God, loving God enough to trust him, is loving yourself enough to protect your heart and your peace. Not leaving yourself to continually, at the end of the continuous stabbing of the pain, but while you are working on your relationship, while you are finding solution, you are ensuring that you love yourself enough to protect yourself so you don't die in the process. And it is loving others enough to confront the truth. You know, someone said in Africa, sometimes women are enablers of the problems that they go through because when they are supposed to seek for help, they don't. So loving others enough to confront the truth. Confronting doesn't have to be with force, you know. I love that phrase that says she stoops to conquer sometimes. But she conquered because she confronted, even though she stooped, you know. We can confront in humility. Can we take the poll as we round up? Yes, the poll will be coming up. I think it's also, is it on Menti or it's a Zoom enabled poll? There are examples all around us of people who turned betrayal around. Jesus and Judas, Jesus experienced it. Today we have Easter because Jesus processed betrayal positively. He knew. Do you think Jesus did not know? Yes. What type of betrayal do you think is hardest to recover from? Let's see what people think. Yes, marital, 100%. Everybody puts the colleague. You will get another job. Marital, yes. Friendship, well, I'll go get another friend. But the spouse, remember what we said, relationships are there in our life for a season, for a reason, and for a lifetime, because marriage is for a lifetime. It's painful. Yes, marital, romantic, a little of the workplace, a little of the friendship. Joseph and his brother. Today we have Israel as a race because Joseph forgave his brothers. He was betrayed, but he forgave. Yes, marital. The story of Nelson Mandela and the apartheid is another story of today. We have South Africa as one of the strongest and most developed economies in Africa because Nelson Mandela chose to move beyond all that he went through. He chose forgiveness. So you can choose. You still have a choice. The next poll, please. I can't see it now. Yes, the next poll. Let's do that one. You still have a choice after betrayal. You can either choose to become a bitter person because you went through betrayal, or you can choose to become a better person. The choice is yours. Thank you, everybody, for joining the call. Before we go to our Q&A, please put in the chat. So far, okay. Please put in the chat your level of satisfaction with today's meeting. I got something from the meeting. The meeting was useful to me, was beneficial to me. We're collating questions, don't worry. Put in the chat. Put in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, how useful the meeting has been to you. We enjoy your feedback, right? So let's collate that as we start collating our questions and our answers. Yes, 10-10. Thank you. Put for us in the chat box your takeaways from the call. 9. Thank you. We'll work on that one. Yes. Thank you. Okay, questions. So here's how we'll do the question section because we have gone above our time, just like we did in the last call. We have finished the call. Our questions are usually very sensitive, and we want to continue to make this place a safe space for people. So the question and the answer session, we will go off social media and then we will stay. If people want to stay after we're going to stop the streaming and then we'll go to the Q&A so that you can feel free to talk and feel free to share. We'll just give 2 minutes. Thank you so much for joining the call. every other person who, if you have a question, put in the chat, who will stay. Those who can stay should stay, but those who need to drop off, thank you so much for joining the call. We'll just take a 1-minute interlude while we are collating the questions. We're collating the question and disengaging from social media so that people can feel free to discuss, right? Thank you. That's 1 minute. That's the 1 minute, what we're doing in the 1 minute. Okay.